What's up? We're back. Another cage side. This is a big weekend for me because one of my favorites fights, Mr. Izzy Adesanya, as I like to call him because we're close. No, it's actually a really good stacked UFC card. Today we're gonna dig deep. Sometimes I know there's a lot of fluff. We talk a lot of bullshit. We focus more on the stories and we have guests, but I want to break down these fights today. And to help me do that, it's the latest addition to the show. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself to you guys, so you guys know a little bit more about him. But this is his first day on the show, so show him some love. The man is a ghost on social, so good luck finding him. He's even worse than Burrell. So my apologies. Adding him onto the show now. Here we go, Mr. Chris Janson. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me. What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. A little bit about myself. I am 19 years old, out here in college, St. Joe's, studying education as well as English. Big combat sports fan. Got into about 2 years ago. Did a little bit of Taekwondo when I was younger. I was all right. Blue belt, red stripe. Not trying to brag or anything, but big combat sports fan. Big weekend ahead of us. I'm excited. A lot of good fights. Big card. Excited to get into it. Lovely day,
brother. Well, welcome and thanks for being part of the show. I think it's huge to have somebody like you on because it's people like you who make this sport what it is, right? I got into it a little bit later in life as well. Boxing was my biggest thing. Here comes the UFC and just kind of takes over all my combat sports interest. So I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on the fights. My wish for today is that you don't agree with me on almost anything, so we can just argue because that makes it fun.
That would make it fun for sure.
So, brother, tell me about. So it's UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whittaker. What are your feelings on the card overall?
I'm excited. It's a good card, really good card. Not the best card of all time, but Houston, Derrick Lewis in Houston. It's going to be exciting. Main event. Consensus, two best middleweights in the world, and it's not even close really with the other guys. Adesanya, Whittaker. We know that there's a little bit of beef, nothing too crazy, but that's one of these fights where it's a big fight feel. The tension will be there. I'll have that feeling in my stomach where I'm feeling nervous.
Yes,
it's gonna be intense. I know. I hate it and I love it.
I love it. I can tell how much I care about a fight based on how I feel. Like as they walk out and they start getting into the octagon, when you start getting that third party anxiousness for these guys, that's what it's all about. And I don't feel that all the time,
No, only maybe 4 or 5 fights a year.
Yep.
It's when it's right in your stomach. It's there's nothing else like it in combat sports, like basketball, football. No.
I agree. I mean, you can get that like fandom excitement for seeing your team perform and win, like the Super Bowls, this weekend as well. Yeah. But it's not the same thing,
It's not the same thing.
Yeah. So why don't we get into the fight card itself? I'll jump in first because I think early prelims is something that we need to discuss. And it's
your boy
for once. What's up?
I said one of your boys, right?
Jeremiah. I was gonna say that's Jeremiah Wells fights this weekend. He was supposed to fight. I forget when it was. A couple weeks back.
I think it was December 4th card, Aldo card.
Okay, so and then his fight got canceled. Listen, the man is a beast. This guy has the potential to climb quickly in the ranks. And he's one of those people that I get nervous seeing because he's so explosive. Anything can happen at any moment. And, he's unproven in the UFC at this point. He has one really good performance and here we are. So how will he do this weekend? It's a big deal. So what do you think about Jeremiah? Do you have any experience watching him or anything?
Yep. So Warley Alves, who he fought, June 26th, his first opponent in the UFC, no one really just rolls over him like that. And I mean, he put Warley Alves out, pretty good. So, I mean, in the welterweight division, I know he's unranked, but I really couldn't think of a lot of guys with that explosivity. I guess that's how you say it. But yeah, This Jeremiah Wells is someone I could see have, a quick rise to the top. I could see him. Yeah,
Right.
I think he has some good matchups in that welterweight division. But it's an interesting guy that he's taken on. It's an interesting guy that he's taken
I don't know
on.
anything about Mike Diamond.
Yeah, Blood Diamond making his debut as well. I mean, I don't know a ton about him. I just he's a kickboxer, obviously former kickboxer. I just know Israel Adesanya is really hyping this man up.
Really?
So that's kind of where I get nervous about it. I've seen on a bunch of interviews Adesanya, he's really talking about how this guy is further along in his career than when Izzy was like starting his career. So Izzy's really talking a lot about him. So, but the odds makers have Wells the favorite though. So it's interesting.
Okay. Do you know where Diamond comes out of? He doesn't come from the Adesanya team, does he?
No, he comes from CKB. Him and Adesanya are training together. They're in the They were in the embedded the other day together. So this is Izzy's boy. They've been in training camp together. Izzy's behind him 100%. So he's one of these, CKB kickboxers coming over into the UFC. But he's not, from the tape I've watched, he's not Adesanya level. He's a little sloppy.
Well, that just scared me that much more, and now the anxiety level's higher. Thanks for that. City kickboxing. I mean, well, you know what? Let's take one for Philly, right? Philly's the same way. Our team here, the stable of fighters coming out of the Daniel Gracie and the John Marquez, it's the same thing. At any given time, any of these fighters, no matter at what level they are in their career, can take on just about anybody. And that seems to be the case also with city kickboxing. But that's fucking exciting. Now that I know that.
It's the first fight of the night.
Yes.
That is
so we're going to open with a bang.
Yeah.
All right. That's good enough for me, man. Start strong. That's going to force me to watch the prelims, which a lot of times I don't. So.
That's funny. Funny.
Do you want to what's next on your opinion in the prelims? Because I mean, Alex Hernandez versus Moicano stands out a little bit to me.
That is a good fight. You got guys right outside the rankings in that division. Hernandez coming off a big KO win, I think August sometime. Moicano, veteran. That's an interesting one. The winner of that could get a ranked opponent. Either guy I can see winning that one. That's a tough one.
I think Moicano is far superior on the ground. Is that right?
Yeah, okay. For sure.
Yeah. So that might be the way that kind of goes. Alex will forever be cemented in my brain as the guy who talked shit to Cowboy and Cowboy did a number on him.
Yeah, and he's had a tough go in the UFC, Alex.
Yeah. He's a good fighter, though.
He is a good fighter, yeah. And he was upset being on the prelims, so, maybe he'll be fighting with a little fire under his belly.
Right. Well, and
he's 2-2 in his last two.
What's up?
Sorry, you can go ahead.
No, Moicano is kind of in the same place. Like, why is he in these are the early prelims.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
And then both guys have something to prove. I mean, both guys, I don't want to say, like, not gatekeepers, but, right outside those rankings. So, this is a big one for either guy. Who do you lean to in this one? Making a prediction or no? It's tough.
Of course. Why not? I think Moicano wins by submission.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What do you think?
Am
I crazy?
I think it's a coin flip. I mean, I would not be surprised if either guy wins, whether it's Moicano submission or Hernandez, knocks him out. I would probably lean Hernandez. Moicano, he last fought. When did he last fight? Not June. Hernandez? Not that long of a layoff, but
yeah.
I'm gonna go Hernandez. I think it's a coin flip fight, but I just think Hernandez, coming into his prime now, he's probably like 29, 30. I think he might catch him early. I think the chin and Moicano might be a little suspect, so I'm gonna go Hernandez. But it's 50-50 really.
Moicano, your chin's iffy. All right, we'll see.
We'll see.
Moicano took on Chase Hooper, I believe, in the Fury grappling here locally, and beat Chase.
Yeah,
and Chase is
he's a good grappler.
He's hyped, in the grappling area. So I don't know. It'll be. I think it'll be
a fun fight. Yeah, it'll be a fun fight. It really is a coin flip. Either guy, I could see winning that one.
I agree. Then the prelims, we can just go straight to the end of the prelims, which is Roxanne Modafferi's last fight, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, last fight.
Versus Casey ONeill, who's quickly gathering popularity, especially on Instagram. So, listen, Roxanne is to be respected, to be liked. She's a little too dorky for my liking. I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just like it takes away from me focusing on all the other assets because she's always doing some shit that makes me focus on that. Granted,
with the hair and the weigh-ins,
with it, the hair and the glasses that she needs to update since 1985. I don't know. I like Roxanne. I always root for her. I don't think I've ever not rooted for her.
Super nice person.
Yeah. I don't think you. And I think Izzy said it recently. You don't like Roxanne. You're probably a piece of shit person.
You probably are a piece of shit person. I'll tell you that the UFC is not doing her any favors in her retirement fight.
No,
giving her Casey ONeill. I mean,
Casey ONeill. Is she undefeated?
Undefeated, 8-0, 3-0 in the UFC. All 3 of her wins in the UFC are come by finish, and that's tough to do.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Massive favorite,
You're right.
Casey ONeill. I mean, I hope Modafferi is a legend from women's MMA. A pioneer, trailblazer. All that stuff. Super nice person. Never top 3 or anything, but always down for a scrap.
Yeah.
They're giving her a tough one here in ONeill. I think ONeill, the striking, it's getting there, but her, the ground game is really her bread and butter, getting them down. Really good ground and pound, really good at advancing position, trying to get a finish on the ground. I think I see Casey ONeill winning this one, but I think Roxanne Modafferi, I hope she has a nice moment. I hope, the fans stand up for her, all that stuff. So,
well, you know what the UFC is doing exactly here. They're saying, Casey,
for sure.
Here's a name that's going to catapult you in front of all these other people that don't know who you are at this point. That's all it is. So they're taking advantage of somebody who's on the way out and putting her in. So
yeah, ONeill, massive favorite. Let's not forget though, Roxanne Modafferi, Macy Barber on that McGregor card 2 years ago. I think Macy Barber, I was watching the other day. Macy Barber was minus 850, which is just crazy. And Roxanne Modafferi, 30-27. So I don't know.
So Casey,
I think
minus 380, they're saying?
Yeah, I think, she's a big favorite.
Yeah, I see her winning this fight.
I see her winning this fight too.
Yeah.
Late finish, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe ground and pound or decision. I mean, Roxanne's tough, but
yeah,
probably
maybe decision.
Actually. Yeah.
Well, definitely worth a watch. I think that's.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good young women's flyweights coming up. I know now Shevchenko is just destroying everyone, but there's a couple of young girls coming up, just getting into that top 15 now. That I don't know, could be interesting maybe in a year or so.
I was gonna say by the time they get up there, Shevchenko might be on her way out anyway. So
I know, she'll be 35, 36. She'll be 25, 26 coming up. So
still just
it'll be interesting.
Whooping ass left and right.
No Shevchenko, though, I think, she might go to I don't know. I can see her going to 45, still whipping people. I think that's what she wants to do. But
she's a fucking beast, dude.
Oh my God, I love her.
Andre Arlovski is back against Jared Bandera. Is this an easy fight for Andre?
I think what's he been doing recently? Going there, outstriking guys, 29, 28 decisions. He did that to his last couple guys, Chase Sherman, Carlos Felipe. I would be shocked if he doesn't get it done again here, Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great opponent for him, Bandera. Just outstrike.
He's a minus 145 favorite. I just see it as another good Arlovski performance. Where he's at in his career right now, it's just impressive that he's still doing so good at this point. But, he's not, just impressing people left and right with his performances. I don't think.
No. I mean, it's impressive that he's getting the wins, but
that's what I mean.
The performances, he looks labored, just nothing flashy, just going out there and out working dudes really for 15 minutes.
Just putting his experience to use, being a vet. So
you gotta hand it to him. Getting paid too,
he's getting paid. So well, we can jump right into the main event. Are you hyped for this main event?
I am very hyped for this main event. I think, some people, may not be as hyped because of what happened in the first fight, but I think you have to be very excited for this fight. This is easily the best 2 middleweights in the world. It's a massive fight for both men. I mean, Adesanya, if he can beat Whittaker twice, that'd be huge for him. And if Whittaker, Whittaker has a ton of great wins in that division. If he can get that Adesanya win, that would be massive for him. Most people I see picking Izzy, but they say it's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be a great fight. It won't be boring either. It'll be a great fight.
Yeah, there's no way that it's a boring fight. It's going to be I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. And I'll tell you one thing. I've said it in a couple previous episodes. I have a feeling that Izzy loses this one, and I'm going for him. I don't know.
I can see a little bit of the vibe. The vibe's a little different this time. Did you see? It's interesting though, like the rivalry between Adesanya and Whittaker, because it's not like a super bad blood rivalry, but I think there's a little bit of dislike there for sure. Yeah. It's interesting. What do you make of their competitive rivalry?
Well, I think what it is that the way that Izzy won, it's like when you would beat somebody with a flashy, kick to the head. It's kind of hard to really know. Like I repeat myself all the time, but Izzy versus Gaslam, that was a fight where that Izzy deserved the win. It was a hard fought fight, and Gaslam looked good, but it was decisive. I was scared when Izzy knocked out Whittaker because he put himself in the same harm that other fighters have been when they lose to Whittaker. He got caught, but just happened to land the winning punch in that exchange, and then put him down. So, I guess my point is that I'm not 100% certain that it could go the same way with Izzy being on the winning side of it.
I agree. I mean, people, what comes to mind with Adesanya Whittaker won? The knockdown, the knockout. Up until besides those two moments, the fight was very close, right? So Whittaker said the other day in his media, skill-wise, they're a lot closer than, people it might seem. And, that's what he believes. And I probably believe that too. I mean, Whittaker is a great martial artist, bouncing on his feet. It's just stylistically, Adesanya is a tough matchup for him, because he's so long with the reach, because he's a great counter striker. It's just tough for Whittaker.
Do you think he will be more kind of measured, a little more careful, and will that benefit Whittaker?
I think he has to be. I mean, in the first fight, I watched it the other day. I mean, he's lunging at Adesanya, not recklessly, but I mean, he's really coming forward. And Izzy, is evading it most of the time. Every now and then, a little shot will get through for Whittaker. But I think he will be more patient. But it's tough with Adesanya. It's tough because if you're too patient, he's probably just going to outstrike you at range. If you're not patient enough and just rush in, he's going to evade and slip. So you have to find that balance between being more patient and just finding the right time to go attack. I think it'll be closer than the first fight for sure. I probably lean Izzy. But it's close. But Whittaker, it's just a tough matchup for Whittaker.
Can Whittaker handle the power? Was that a fluke?
Can Whittaker handle the power? I think. I mean, that shot Adesanya landed in the first fight, that left. I think it was a check left hook. That was a great shot, right on the chin. I mean, I think Whittaker can. I think he's going to have to get hit a little bit, but I think I see this fight going to a decision either way. I'd be surprised if one guy just drops the other guy early. Yeah, I mean, Izzy, in the Vettori fight, Vettori is as tough as they come. I think he probably is the toughest guy in the UFC. But I don't know. I think they'll be more patient, both of the guys.
Well, so I think if it's a decision, we all win. Because that'll be a hell of a five rounds to consume as fight fans.
For sure.
That's going to be a lot of action.
Either guy get KO'd.
What's that?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to see either guy get KO'd. I'm a fan of both guys. Both are great guys.
Yeah.
But
it would be wild to see Izzy get KO'd.
I know. I mean, even against Blachowicz, he never, I think, a couple shots might have buzzed him a little bit, but we never was in trouble getting KO'd. I have a question for you though. This is really interesting. Do you think Robert Whittaker, people say he's great at this. Do you think he's going to wrestle at all? That's a big question.
I could see that. I could see the thing is, it's really hard to take Izzy down.
Yeah.
I think he tries, and if it becomes frustrating at all, I think he abandons that. I think maybe he takes the fight into closer quarters to take away that reach. I don't know. It's hard to gauge. I think the first round will say a lot. Sometimes it's all about feeling each other out. Well, they don't need to feel each other out. This first round, I think will show us if Izzy's striking is as on point as always, and if he's landing, I think it's a done deal. Because I think in the striking, unless Izzy gets caught with something random, maybe like a kick, because didn't Whittaker land some really nasty kicks on Joel that almost took him out? Am I thinking
Joel?
Right? Yeah.
You mean Gastelum or Cannonier?
No. Whittaker against Joel. Didn't Whittaker land a bunch of headshots, head kicks?
I'm trying to think. Joel who?
Romero.
Oh, Joel. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was forever
Whittaker,
ago, but
yeah, I mean, Whittaker, in his last couple of fights, he rocked Gastelum in the first round with a 1-2 head kick. He dropped Cannonier and really had him in trouble in that third round with a 1-2 head kick against Yoel as well. I mean, that's his favorite combination. Watch the Gastelum fight. He threw it so many times.
Yeah.
And that 1-2, he doesn't even throw the 1-2 to land it. He just throws them out there. And he throws that right high kick. And that is definitely his best combo. But Izzy be looking for that. I mean, Izzy's just, he's just very slick in there.
I was going to say he's good at slipping all that stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm super fucking pumped for it. I think it's going to be a display of talent on both sides. I think it'll go longer.
I'm super pumped as well.
It might be another trilogy type of fight.
I think if there is someone to do it in middleweight right now, I think it's definitely Whittaker. Like, I don't see Brunson or Cannonier. I don't see them having any shot against Izzy with respect to both of them. And I don't see Strickland. I think he would absolutely get destroyed by Adesanya. I love Strickland. I mean, I like Strickland, but I think he'd get destroyed by Izzy. I mean, maybe Chimaev in a year or two, but I think for the middleweights to dethrone Izzy, this is their best shot with Whittaker. What do you think about that?
First of all, I got it. You brought up Strickland. I was so fucking pissed at Strickland. What a liar.
Because he was too patient in that Hermanson fight?
Yes. Listen, you don't get to go around just talking all sorts of random shit like he does, which is fine. Do it. But you can't be talking about wanting to murder somebody in the octagon, just way over the top, aggro, whatever. And then jab the whole fucking fight. And then the last 10 seconds finally show the one part of you that goes along with the way you communicate. I thought that was that lowered his stock, in my opinion, by a ton.
It definitely, if you want to put a performance out to get a title shot, that definitely was not it. I think he threw 75% of his shots were jabs, honestly. And
by the way, haters, relax. You fight, fighting professionals who know me and will message me and say that you don't agree with me. I understand he did the right thing. He used the jab properly. He won the fight decisively. But as far as star power and wanting to get the title next or in the next two fights, no, that's just not how you do it.
He did call himself out on it though. In the post
fight. He did. But he had to.
He was like, he had to. He was like, he said
felt like a pansy.
Yeah, he said the dudes in suits made him scared. I don't know, but
I like him if he can finesse the talking a little bit, right? Because you can't be a huge successful star and be fucking wild the way he is in press conferences. You can do it, just condense it a little bit. And then when you go out, take a page from Izzy, who has never. Which fight was it? I guess Joel Romero was the one fight that was fucking boring. But besides that, the guy has gone in and performed and taken risks, and that's what you got to do. So Strickland, Strickland is a guy who fights so kind of awkward and straight up, and when you're just standing there and throwing fucking jabs, it almost looks like you barely know what the fuck you're doing. You're not fluid. You're not moving. But he has it in him. And at the end, he showed it for 10 seconds. It's like, dude, why did you not entertain us a little bit more.
That's my final thought on Strickland. Good fighter. I just think that he will get absolutely fucking destroyed in his next fight. If it's Costa, I think he actually gets like brutally knocked out if I support
Really?
Costa. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in his next fight, but I don't think it's going to go well for him.
Well, I don't think he gained that many more followers in the sport because of it. But he got the win, so we'll see. But he's not getting a fucking title shot doing that. Anyway, done with Strickland. We got about 5 minutes on the clock. Let's wrap up the main event. We kind of started, with the biggest fight, but we can go back down. Cannonier versus Derrick Brunson. Cannonier's the favorite. Derrick Brunson, it thinks he's gonna beat Izzy next, and then right off into the sunset. I think he's crazy. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a close fight. I think Cannonier probably just KOs him in one. It's obviously Brunson. He's gonna try to wrestle. Like, let's be honest, everyone knows that he's gonna try to do that. Cannonier has really good takedown defense. I think it's like 80% in middleweight. Derrick Brunson, good guy. I don't know. I think the last couple of performances, I don't know. Shabazian had no cardio. Holland had no takedown defense too. Showed up kind of fat. I don't know. I think he could win, but I'm going to go Cannonier in one. But winner definitely gets a title shot if Izzy wins.
Well, if Izzy wins, first of all, I'm going to go for Cannonier as well. I think Cannonier has all the potential to win if he shows up.
Yeah, I think he'll show up.
I think so too. Izzy has been wanting Cannonier to get to the point that he can fight him. Right? Hasn't he been calling him out for a while, like in a nice way? Like, dude, I want to fight you at some point.
Yep.
So that'll be perfect. I'm not a huge fan of Brunson. Brunson, I think
his memes.
What's up?
Not a fan of his memes that he posts on Instagram.
Not a fan of his name?
His memes that he posts on Instagram.
I thought he said, I'm not a fan of his name. I'm like, well, that's all right, dude. It's not his fault. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like him. He fought Izzy how many years ago?
I think it was 230, so late 2018.
Okay. I didn't like his approach then. He got humiliated then. I don't know what makes him think that he's got it now. I don't know. Sorry, Derrick.
I'm sad that Holland's one of my favorite fighters, so that Holland performance.
So
sad.
Holland?
So frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, Holland's good. I don't know. I don't know where Holland falls into the mix. Be quite honest.
Welterweight now.
Yep, exactly. Here within our show little bubble, the fact that he avoided Kyle Dawkins for a second time pissed me off a little bit.
That's interesting right there. But yeah, I feel bad for Kyle. I think he got an opponent for next month or this month actually.
But the Marquez pulled out too, right?
Yeah, it's Pickett now. Jamie Pickett's going to step in.
Yeah. We'll see. I talked to Chris yesterday. He said everything was looking good. So we'll find out. All right. I think co-main event. Break it down for me, dude.
All right. Lewis Tuivasa. I mean, Lewis coming back in Houston, wants to redeem himself probably for the fans. Tuivasa, biggest fight of his career, big jump up. Look, I think this fight, someone's going down. Let's be real. I don't think that this is going to be boring. I don't think it's going to be like an Ngannou Lewis where everyone thinks it's going to be great, then it's bad. I think it's going to be good. I think, they start off a little slow in the first minute. Tuivasa comes out with some leg kicks. Then I think they start swinging. I think Lewis takes it to him a little bit. I think Lewis probably first round KO. I just think he's a little bit more power, a little bit. Maybe, Tuivasa has the hand speed advantage. But I think Lewis probably gets it done in one. But Tuivasa could get it done in one too. But power difference, Lewis. What do you think about it?
This is going to be one of those fights that also make me nervous. It's going to be like two Mack trucks coming at each other.
Oh, yeah.
And
because they're both so great guys.
You cannot get up to do anything because you could possibly miss it like that. I think it's going to be fun as shit. I like both. I mean, I love Derrick Lewis. Only time I've rooted against him was when he fought Chris.
December.
Yeah. And Tuivasa, I think he embodies the perfect person to follow because he does his shit. He's really good at what he does. He can bang. and the guy knows that this is entertainment, and has created his unique twist to it. The goddamn shoeies. So I don't know. He's very fun to watch. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Derrick Lewis though too. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like Lewis looked great in the Dawkins fight. I mean, Dawkins is a legit guy, and Lewis looked great. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tuivasa KO'd him, but I think Lewis has so many great wins in that division. I think Tuivasa.
Yeah,
he got cracked by Hardy. If you're getting cracked by Hardy, Lewis probably gonna put you out. But,
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Well, it's a great night of fights ahead of us. We'll be looking forward to that. We'll check back in next week and see who was right and who was wrong. Brother, do you have anything else to add?
Great night of fights. Great main event. I'm excited for the press conference today. See if there's going to be any trash talk or not. I don't think there will be, but we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. Shout out Bobby Green, one of my favorite fighters as well in that card. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Main event. Awesome. Be super nervous, but should be. I know. A fun night.
I'll be checking in with you throughout the night to see how the nerves are. Brother, thanks so much for joining us today. You'll be seeing more of this guy on the show. Thanks for your take on everything.
Thank you.
If you haven't yet ordered your Philly Hits Harder. No, Philly Hits different. I keep on saying Philly Hits Harder. I don't know why. I came up with the fucking thing and I forget about it. Anyway, they're great shirts, great hoodies. They're on sale now. Go on the website, get them. Follow us on Instagram, Cageside Show. Go to the website, cagesideshow.com. What else? YouTube/Cageside Show. Subscribe, like, share. That's all I got for you. Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Cageside fights this weekend. UFC 271. Let's go.